Hello, my name's Penny Dunstan. I'm an artist who lives on Wanneroo country. I would like to acknowledge the elders, past and present, and like to think about our futures in Australia with Indigenous knowledges. Just to set the scene, this is a little grindstone that was found at my front gate. So I'm very privileged to be looking after that. Today, I'd like to talk to you about two artworks that are made with the agency of the earth in mind. So, some earth bowls that I've made. These are a selection of topsoils from the Hunter Valley. We don't often think about topsoils, except that topsoils are always thought about in terms of what they can give to us. So we're thinking about maybe what they can grow, what crops they can grow. Maybe we can think about how much pasture we might grow. But we never think about what, if the topsoil has an ability to be there just by itself, and what other things that it might be giving to us that we don't recognise. So this is a selection of different topsoils. This one is a biodynamic soil from Broke. This one is made from a soil that comes from Scone that grows really good racehorses. It's very high in calcium. This little bowl comes from a soil from Denman. It's quite productive soil. It's cracking up, shows that it has an agency of its own, but it also has been productive for many millennia. This is an inclusion I found in this soil when I just dug some topsoil, and it's actually a little stone for grinding. So it shows that it has had Indigenous use for many years. This bowl is made from topsoil rescued from the working side of a mine to go to rehabilitation. It's hard, it's very unforgiving, and it's going to be very difficult for plants to grow in there. So just to talk about, if I take it this one, which is also a biodynamic soil from Broke, there are the little inclusions in there, but you can see the bowl is in two pieces. That's a good thing. That's a soil that is active and part of its environment. It's reacting to being dried out. This little bowl is the saddest of them all, I think. This is actually not a topsoil, although it's being treated as a topsoil. This is made from degraded mudstone. So it's highly alkaline, and it's very unsuitable for topsoil, but there'll be many thousands of hectares of it. The only grass that really likes growing in it is Rhodes grass. This is part of the Rhodes grass stole I'm making, the stole the show, that will be on at Timeless Textiles in a couple of weeks. So in this, I'm thinking about the place of Rhodes grass in our society, really. The grass that's a coloniser, a grass that looks after spaces that are unkept, uncared for, and covers the earth. So in making it into something else, in making it into a stole, something that you might wear, I'm asking different questions of the grass. How should we interpret grass when it's placed in a gallery? With the earth bowls, when they're placed in a church, you have to ask, are they about dirt, or are they about soil, or about earth? When this stole, which I actually made for Rod Pattenden to wear, well, that was the idea. If he's wearing grass, if a minister is wearing grass around his shoulders, what does that signify? Is that lifting the grass up? Is that making him part of the nature as a whole? Is it him understanding himself as embedded in nature? So it asks all sorts of different questions when you put a material in an alternate space. So people always ask me, how does my science background influence my artistic practice? As if they're separate, but they're not. They're exactly contained within the same person, and they're the same thoughts. So if you're a good scientist, you do iterations or something, you do the experiment, you find the result, you do the iterations. An artist does the same iterative pattern. Perhaps the thinking is a bit wilder, but again, it's always about the iterations, the exploration, finding a result. Science and art are also embedded in the system that they belong to. So if I'm a good scientist, I understand that I am embedded in the system I'm observing, that I'm not outside observing down here. I'm actually embedded in that system, and the biases that I might have in my observations are all there. The same goes for art. I'm not painting outside the system, painting a beautiful picture of flowers, for instance. What I'm doing is I'm embedded in the system, and being embedded in the system leads to artworks like these ones, where I am allowing the agency of the grass, the agency of the earth to influence what the outcomes are.